Assalamu alaikum and good morning, students. I hope that you all are fine and enjoying a good time in your homes. You all are welcome in your today's social studies lesson. And as you can see on your screens, that today we are going to start a new unit that is Stories of Qaid-e-Azam. And from this one unit, we are going to cover first 4 pages with the subtopics Muhammad Ali goes to school and office. And on the next 2 pages, we will cover Qaid-e-Azam at the rail crossing and obeying rules. These are the 4 subtopics which we are going to cover in our today's lesson, inshallah. So now let's start our lesson together formally. So take out, please, all of you, your social studies textbook with the sharp pencils. So your writings should be neat and tidy. So we can start it now. And here, as you can see, that these are the textbook pages which we are going to cover. Those are page number 36 till 39. These pages inshallah we will cover, and here is your today's date and day which you are going to write down on the first one page, page number 36, which we are going to read today. Like always, please keep your writings neat. Pencils should be properly sharpened, and here you can see your day, that is Tuesday, with the capital T, and the classwork C will be capital, and here you will write down today 1st June 2021. Wow, our lesson is on the first day of the month. So we are going to start our new month June from today with our first lesson on the 1st June. So now let's start it, and here you can see now your today's learning objectives, that students will be able to know about the childhood of Qaid-e-Azam. Means first of all we will learn about the early age of Qaid-e-Azam, that how he was in his childhood and what was his hobbies also. And here in the next one learning objective, we will learn about the personality of Qaid-e-Azam and his obedience for rules. Means in this learning objective, we will cover that uh, uh, how much Qaid-e-Azam was giving importance to obeying rules and how he was as a person or as a leader. So now let's start our today's reading. But before that, I want to show you here the picture of Qaid-e-Azam, as you can see, and I know that you all are very much familiar with this great man. And here you can see that his name, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. This was the name, and Qaid-e-Azam actually is his title. So keep this thing in mind. His name is Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And other two titles which we have given to this great man is the father of nation and the founder of Pakistan. Qaid-e-Azam, father of nation, and the founder of Pakistan are the titles for Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He was the most important man in the history of Pakistan because he has given us this country. He worked hard a lot for his whole life just to give us a free country from the Hindus and the uh, uh, Britisher. So this was the introduction, a brief introduction of Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and now we are going to learn, as we have discussed in the learning objective, about the childhood of Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Here you can see the title of our today's unit. That it is Stories of Qaid-e-Azam, and the first one subtopic from textbook page number 36 is Muhammad Ali goes to school. And I hope that you all have written here your today's written day, which we have discussed earlier. So now let's start our reading together. All of you, please put your pencils under the each word and you will read it with me. So now let's start it. Once there was a little boy called Muhammad Ali. He was 9 years old. One day he went to his father and said, "Father, I don't like school." Oh, like the most of the students who don't like to go to school and who don't like to do a lot of work, and they want to just play games in home or in schools also. He also was not very fond of his school, and he was discussing his problem with his father. And now let's see how they are proceeding the father son conversation. "Why not?" asked his father. "I don't like reading and I don't like maths. I only like playing games. Can I work at the office with you?" And here we have seen that Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, when he was very young, he was discussing his problem with his father, that he didn't like to go to school because he didn't like reading books and he didn't like especially the maths, and he just wanted to play games. And he was thinking that if he will work in an office, so he would be able to play some games. So that's why he was requesting his father that, "I want to work in your office. Can I?" And now we will see what was the answer of his father. That will be, I think, also very interesting. So now let's read it. "I want you to go to school," said his father. "If you work hard at school, you will get a good job when you are older." Like all the parents, his father is also his well wisher, and he is telling him that if you will work hard and you will not behave like the uh, coward kids, and you will face your situations bravely, then you will be able to get a very good job, very noble job when you will get older. "I can work hard in your office," said little Muhammad Ali. "Please, father." And now here they are showing us that Muhammad Ali was insisting his father that he wanted to work in his office, and he was requesting again and again that, "I can work hard in the office instead of the school, so I should work in the office now." "Very well," said his father. "You can start tomorrow." Now we can see that his father has agreed with him, and he is saying that now you can start from tomorrow your work from the office. This was the reading of our textbook page number 36. So now let's move on textbook page number 37, and here you can see we have a new subtopic, that is Muhammad Ali goes to the office. First of all, we have read about his school, and now we are going to learn that how was his experience in his father's office. So now let's start it again, and you will read it with me. So please give full attention. The next day, Muhammad Ali went to the office with his father. There was no time to play games. He was not very good at reading. He was not very good at maths. So he did boring jobs. People did not take any notice of him. They were too busy. And here we have read about his experience, his first day experience at office. As you can see in the picture, that the people are busy in their work and he is bringing just tea for them. As we have read it here, boring jobs, you can underline this one word. It means that those things which don't have any activity, nice activity, a joyful activity, which don't have any attraction. So these are the boring jobs, you can say. And nobody took any notice of him. Notice me, they were not giving him any attention because they all were older people and they all were busy in the work. Just sometimes you can think this thing that your fathers are free and your mothers are free at the offices and they are enjoying something there. No, actually everybody works very hard in his office or in her office. So keep this thing in mind, that office is not a place where you can enjoy your time. It's a place where you have to put all your efforts to achieve some nice goals. So, this was his experience that he was getting bored because he was not good at reading and he was not good at maths. So, he was not able to do something very special and he was doing the boring and interestless jobs. And nobody was also talking with him and nobody was also paying any attention to him because they all were busy in their work. Next paragraph is here. After 2 months, he went to his father. Father, he said, can I go back to school? Oh, so sweet. This was the experience of a child at an office, that he was expecting that he will enjoy there a lot or he can do something very interesting there. But after 2 months, he realized that office was not his place. His actual place where he could do something or where he was able to achieve something was actually school. So now he was requesting his father that please, I want to go back to school. I am very much bored at your office. His father smiled. You see, my boy, there are two ways you can learn. One way is to listen to your elders and do what they ask. The other way is to do what you want and learn from your mistakes. This is the most important and interesting paragraph we can say from your lesson, because this is the actual life lesson of the life, that always our parents are teaching us something, our elders, our teachers, our siblings, or our grandparents even, they are telling us something. In the first time we can feel that those all things are boring and they are not giving us any sense, but actually all the elders are giving us advice with their experience. So always keep this thing in your mind, that we should listen our parents, our elders always, and we should act according to their advice. We should uh, consult them before doing anything. Here you can also see that his father was giving him a lesson, that uh, he was not forced to take him to his office, but actually he was interested to give him a lesson. He is now telling him that in two ways you can learn the lessons of your life. First thing is this, that you should listen your elders carefully, because they are telling you something after their experience. They have done those things in their ages or in childhood or in their young age, and they are telling you advice and they are telling you something nice. So we should listen them and we should obey them. The second thing is this, that you should do whatever you want to do, what your heart is saying and what you are thinking, that this could be very fine and this could be excellent. Sometimes those things could be good, but in that way, when we are listening only to ourselves, we have to waste a lot of time, a lot of energy, because we are totally unexperienced. And when we will achieve the goal after so many mistakes, so we will learn from those mistakes, so we can save our energies, we can save our times by listening our elders, because they are experienced from us than us, sorry. So this was the end of the textbook, page number 37 also we have done here. And now let's move on and look, here is the next subtopic on textbook page number 38, that Qaid-e-Azam at the rail crossing. We have learnt about his childhood, so now we are going to learn about his young age. So now let's see. Again, please put your pencils under the each word and start reading with me. Muhammad Ali went back to school. He worked hard and became very good at reading and maths. Wow, another lesson we are getting from our today's lesson, that we should not lose our hopes. We should always try again and again. Here you can see in this lesson that first of all we have read about Muhammad Ali, who was not very good at reading and who didn't like the maths. But when he realized the reality of the life, that he should work hard in the school, so he worked hard and he tried a lot, and he was excellent now at reading and the maths. Years later, Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the leader of Pakistan. After that, people called him Qaid Azam. This means great leader. This is the story of Qaid Azam's hard work, that how did he become the successful person in the history of the human history. Here we can see that he worked hard a lot, he tried a lot, and then he was able to be called the greatest leader of the Pakistan, and even one of the greatest leader of the human history. His title, which he got by the people of Pakistan, was Qaid Azam. Qaid means the leader, and Azam means great or the greatest. So it means the great leader, as you can see here. The Qaid Azam means great leader. This was the title of Muhammad Ali Jinnah when he became a very successful person in his life, and he worked hard a lot to get a free country for all the Muslims of Indo-Pak. So now let's move to the next paragraph. One day, Qaid Azam was traveling along a long way with his friend Gul Hassan. They came to a rail crossing. The gate was shut because a train was coming. I hope that this thing you all have experienced in your life somewhere, when we have to stay at the side of the rail crossing with the shut gate of that crossing, because the train would be able to move from there. So same thing they are telling us here, that one day Qaid Azam was also at the side of the rail crossing, and the gate was shut because that was the time to come a train. Gul Hassan jumped out of the car, opened the gate, and stopped the train. He said to the gatekeeper, Qaid Azam is in the car. Now his friend Gul Hassan was telling to the gatekeeper that you should immediately open the gate and you should stop the train until until Qaid Azam passed from the rail crossing, because you know he is the greatest leader of Pakistan, so he should have this privilege that gate should be opened for him and train should be stopped for him. Yes, sir, said the gatekeeper. He opened the gate for Mr. Jinnah's car. And when he ordered to the gatekeeper that you should open the gate, so the gatekeeper quickly opened the gate for the Qaid Azam's car. This was the reading of our textbook page number 37, and we have done till here. And now this incident will continue in our next subtopic, that is obeying rules, on textbook page number 39. The last one page from our today's lesson, and now we are uh, going to learn that what was happened after that. And please read it with your teacher. So now let's start it. Gul Hassan got back in the car, but it did not move. Come on, driver, said Gul Hassan. We will be late. Qaid Azam says, I must stay, said the driver. This conversation or this dialogue is between the Gul Hassan and the driver of Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. That Gul Hassan was insisting his driver that you should move fast because now the gate is open for Qaid Azam, so we can cross the rail crossing, and you shouldn't waste any time. We will be late from the office or from some meeting. But the driver of Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah replied that this is the order from Qaid Azam that he should stay at the rail crossing. Please tell the gatekeeper to shut the gate, Gul said Qaid-e-Azam quietly. Now Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is telling to Gul that Gul, you should ask gatekeeper to shut the gate again. Why? Now let's see why he was ordering like in this way. How can I ask other people to obey rules if I do not obey rules myself? This was the lesson from Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah to for all the nation, that if you want to say that other people should obey the rules, first of all, you should obey them at your own. You should be the first person to obey them. After that, other people will follow you automatically. So, as we have discussed, that Qaid Azam was the man of principle, and he was very fond of the rules. So he was obeying here, and he was practically showing the nation that he can move through the gate, because the gate was opened for him, because he was the greatest leader of Pakistan. But still, instead of crossing the railway line, he still stopped there, and he waited for the train to pass on. Last and paragraph is here. They waited for the train like everyone else. Slowly it rolled past. Then they went through the gate. As we have discussed it, that he waited for the train, and when like everyone else, the common people were standing there, so Qaid Azam was also standing there, because he wanted to show the people that he is obeying the rules. So everyone else should also obey the rules in the same way. This was our today's lesson, the reading which we have done from page number 36 till 39, and I hope that you have enjoyed it. It was a very nice lesson because we have read a lot of interesting things here. We have got a lot of lessons from our today's lesson. As you can see from on the first one page here, you can see that even he was very small and he was very young, he was insisting his father that he wanted to work in the office. And his father was extremely intelligent. He didn't pressurize him, but he gave him a practical lesson, that if he is insisting for that, so he was thinking that he should do this practical and he would get his lesson. And in this one page, on page number 37, we have learned, uh, sorry, and this one here in this paragraph, we have read that we can learn in our life in within two ways. First way, the very simplest, very easy, and the time and energy saving also in this way, that we should listen and we should obey our elders properly. And the second one is this, that you whatever you want to do it, and after that you will learn, after wasting a lot of sources, after wasting a lot of time, after wasting a lot of energies also, you will learn through your mistakes. And here we have learned that we shouldn't lose our hopes. We should try again and again to achieve our goals. Here we have read that Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was not good at studies, but one day he showed the world that he is the greatest man of the human history, and he became the greatest leader of Pakistan. Even he was able to found a country, a separate country, a free country for the Muslims. And at the end, we have read about obeying rules, that in all the circumstances, whatever we are and wherever we are, we should obey the rules in our life every time. So these were the basics lesson which we have got from our today's topic. And now we are going to have a quick recap from our today's lesson. Here you can see the important discussion points. So now let's read it. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the name of Qaid-e-Azam. As we have discussed, that Qaid-e-Azam was the title, but the name of this great man was Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He was born in 1876. Almost a century ago, he was born. In his childhood, he was not very fond of studies, especially maths or the reading. Like many students who don't like to go to school, who don't like the studies, he was also not very fond of maths and reading also. His father took him to his office according to his wish, but in actual to give him a lesson. We have also discussed this thing that his father was a very intelligent man. He gave him a lesson through a practical. He didn't pressurize him that you should go to school and you should study there. Instead of that, he took him to his office and then he realized at his own that the actual place for a kid is the school where we can achieve a lot of things. We can make our lives easy just by listening and obeying our elders' advice. This is the main and basic thing of this lesson, that we should always listen our elders. We should always act according to their advice because they are much more uh, experienced than us, and they can tell us the good things, the nice things. So we should listen them carefully and we should act according to their advice always. Otherwise, we will learn by our mistakes on the road of our life. We can learn through our personal experience, but that will take a lot of time and a lot of mistakes and a lot of obstacles we will face in this journey. So the easiest way is this, that I think we should listen our elders properly. Muhammad Ali worked hard and became one of the most successful persons in the human history. He was not very good at maths, he was not very fond of the studies, but one day he became the greatest leader of of Pakistan just by his hard work and his efforts. He became the greatest leader of Pakistan. He is called the father of nation. He is called the founder of Pakistan. He is the greatest leader of Pakistan because he was the person who gave us this country, who worked hard, who did a lot of effort to just get a free country for the Muslims of Indo-Pak. So we have a lot of respect for him. He was a man of principles and always obeyed the rules. We have read that incident that uh, he showed practically to everyone that he obeyed rules always, and he wanted from the other people also that they should also always obey the rules. So, this was a quick recap of our today's lesson. I hope that you have understood it properly. And now we are going to finish it, but you have to read it at least twice. The text of these 4 pages you will read at least twice after this lesson. So you will be able to do it properly when we will do the written work inshallah in school, or we will do our assessments also. Here is our plenary from your textbook, page number 39, and that is the complete the sentences. You will complete these sentences in the textbook here. You will not do it on the notebooks. So, in the notebooks. So, now let's start it. These are the 7 blanks, and we will do it now. So, first one is here that Qaid-e-Azam means. We have discussed it on the page number 38, that what is the meaning of Qaid-e-Azam. This is the title of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Qaid means the leader and Azam means great. So Qaid-e-Azam means the great leader. You will write down The first letter you will use the capital, others will be the smaller ones. And please keep your handwritings neat and work should be tidy. Sharp your pencils if you haven't sharpened them, and keep your work neat and tidy. Second one is here. I hope that you have done the first one because you have to written just three words. Those were very easy. The great leader. So the second one is here. He was born in 1876. Year we have discussed also in our recap that he was born in 1876, but here they are asking in the blanks that dash years ago means how many years ago he was born. So now let's discuss it. This is the sun that year we are getting here, the 18th century. So we will move in the next century, that is the 19th. So here are the 100 years, and then we will count in the tens from 76 onwards. We will count 76, then 86, 96, 2006, 2016. These are the 40, and after 2016 we will count in the ones. The 17, 18, 19, 20, and 20 we have done. So these are the 144 years. It means that 144 years ago he was born. You can write down the numbers, or you can write down the words of this digit 144. And the next one is this, that he died in 1948. 1 year after when we got the Pakistan in 1947, and he died in 1948 dash years ago. How many years ago? Now we will again count in the tens. It's 48, so we will count 58, 68, 78, 88, 98, 2008 and 2018. These are the 70 years, and after 80 we will count in the ones 19 and 20. These are the 2 years. So here we will write down 72. You can write down in numbers or you can write down in the words. It's up to you. He died in 1948, 72 years ago. In 1947 we got the Pakistan, and on September 11, 1948 Quaid-e-Azam was died. I hope that first three blanks you have done. So now let's move on towards the fourth one. One day, Quaid-e-Azam came to a dash. We have read it on page number 38. Exactly. He was traveling with his friend Gul Hassan, and he came to a rail crossing. You can see the spelling if you are confused, but I think those are very easy for you. Rail, first of all, you will write, then you will write down cross, and ing you will add as the ing, rail crossing. So here we have done this, the fourth one also. Now we are going to do the fifth one blank. Gul Hassan wanted the gatekeeper to dash the gate. He was insisting him that Quaid-e-Azam is in the car, so you should open the gate. Exactly. So we will write down here to open the gate. Keep your writings neat, please, and no capital letter you will use here because these are not the proper nouns. All the small letters, and you will write down open the gate. All the spellings are very easy for you. I know you all are very intelligent. So now let's move to the sixth one. That is, the Quaid-e-Azam wanted the gatekeeper to dash. And we have read it on page number 39 that Gul Hassan was ordering that you should open the gate for Quaid-e-Azam. But Quaid-e-Azam wanted to show the people that he is also obeying the rules. So he wanted the gatekeeper to shut the gate. Exactly. Here we have written open the gate, and here you will write down shut the gate. Keep your handwritings neat again, I am requesting you, and all the letters, small case letters, we will use in the blanks instead of the first one, because that was the title of the Qaidism. We were discussing the meaning of that one, the great leader. Here you will use the first letter capital, but in the other blanks, the fourth, fifth, and sixth, you will use the small case letters. Rail crossing, then open the gate, and here we have done shut the gate. So the last one just is left. Now quickly do it. It's also very easy. He wanted, sorry, here is that he wanted to obey the, which thing Qaid Azam wanted to obey by everyone, and he also obeyed for his whole life. That those were the rules. Exactly, he wanted to obey the rules. Here you will write down just one word in the last blank. It's so easy for you. I hope that you will do it at your own, because the spellings all are very easy. These were the blanks which we have done in our plenary from your textbook, page number 39. I hope that you all have done. Now I am going to show you the solved or filled one blanks to check, to recheck your spellings. So you can match your answers here. As you can see that Qaid-e-Azam means great leader. You will write down it, and I hope that your writings will be neat. In the second one, we have written that he was born 144 years ago, and in the third one, he died 72 years ago. And I hope that you all have done it now, and your writings and your answers all will be correct. Fourth one is this, that Qaid Azam came to a rail crossing. We have done this and we have discussed it also. The fifth one, that Kul Hassan wanted the gatekeeper to open the gate because Qaid Azam was in the car. So we have done it also. And in the next one, what was the wish of Qaid Azam about the gate? That it should be shut. So here we have written that Qaid Azam wanted the gatekeeper to shut the gate. These we have done and discussed also. And last one was so easy, that he wanted to obey the rules. And I hope that you all have checked your answers. Your spellings should be correct. Your writings should be neat. And here our lesson is about to finish, as we have done our plenary also. Again, I am telling you that you have to read your text from all these 4 pages at least twice after the lesson. Now, inshallah, we will meet on Friday for your live lesson with another task. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have a nice time. Allah Hafiz.